This is the GRcade Twitchcast. We're doing a mini episode again. Totally fucked it up, guys. Totally fucked it up. What's that, man? Hello?
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 Ah, you sound better now, both. For some reason it went weird then. Where was I? Basically, today we're going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack and what that entails and the quality of the N64 games. I'm assuming it's going to be a big focal point. We have definitely with us today, we have Kerr9000.
Hi, everybody.
We also have Hypes.
Howdy.
How are you guys doing?
Not bad. Going
That's
well.
good.
Yeah, not bad, thanks.
I'm glad you're doing well. Basically, recently, Nintendo have decided to add an expansion pack to their online Switch service. The Switch service was pretty bare bones anyway. Like for me, it was only like 17 quid a year, but you got some NES and SNES games and you had to pay to play online. We've talked about this in, I'm not sure if it was the Twitchcast previously, or it was the podcast that we were doing before the Twitchcast. We discussed that, and I basically fell on the side of, I don't think it's worth the money, even though I'm going to pay for it. So the point is, they've now added on another package, which you have to pay, I think it's like another, 10, 15 quid for? Something like that, a year? And you get to play N64 games and Mega Drive games. That's it. Nothing else extra. Just those two things. Which, again, I don't think is worth it. It's not far off the cost now of Xbox Live Gold or PlayStation Plus, which gives you four newer games. Two from the Xbox 360/PS4 era, I think, and now one's from now. What's your thoughts, guys? What's your thoughts? We'll go with Hypes to start.
So how much is the Switch Online service?
The Switch Online service normally is £17. I'm not exactly sure how much it is. I think it's around 30 quid. I think.
Whilst I try and find how much it is. So I sort of originally got the Switch Online, I guess, when I first got my Switch. Was it free then? It was initially free for like a year, wasn't it?
It was free, yeah. It was a pain in the arse. My issue was back then, it was free and the games you had were free to play online. Then they introduced a fee and it counted on the games that were already out, which would then have an effect on people playing online, in the sense of some people are not going to buy Switch Online, and therefore it's going to screw the people playing, and cut out half the game for some people who've already bought it because it was free initially.
Yeah, so after it was free, I then got it because, we were all still playing Mario Kart and or Splatoon and or whatever, and it was obviously required. So it's $17.99 for 12 months, and the expansion pack is essentially pretty much twice as much. So I had the initial Switch Online. I think I carried that through.
How much is it exactly? 35 then, is it?
$34.99 for the Plus expansion pack.
Oh, that's a lot of money.
$17.99. I don't know what other online things for Xbox and PlayStation are.
I think they're about 40 a year.
Okay, and obviously they offer
the highest tier of Game Pass Ultimate is $11.99 a month, but that's the highest PC and Xbox, everything all included tier.
Yeah.
And that's like new games as well, isn't it?
Yeah. It's definitely
Rentals online, everything.
It's definitely more expensive. You can get like deals online for cheaper, but you get PC, Xbox on your PC, so you can play the Xbox games via the cloud service on your PC, your phone, in browsers. The Xbox One can play the new Xbox Series console games via the cloud. You also get EA access included in that, or EA Play as it's now called. So while it is going to be like double the price or more, you're getting a fuck ton of bang for your buck.
Yeah. Whereas Nintendo's is pretty bare bones. So I had the original Switch online membership, and I think I just carried that on because we were playing online games. Multiplayer.
I miss playing online games on a Monday. Mario Kart was great fun.
Oh, well, you say that. You didn't sound like you were having great fun at any point. But yeah, so I carried it through, and I think last year Animal Crossing must have required it, and perhaps Super Mario Maker, which I played a bit of. But then after I, had my 2 months fill of Animal Crossing, I think I just let it expire whenever it last expired. Because it was just offering NES and SNES games. Everyone's played them a million times before. You've got them several different times on various different consoles, repackaged, full price retail, emulation, wherever. So it's not much really. I play Rocket League. Rocket League's free. I don't need Switch Online for that.
Yeah.
And so I now have the online expansion. I wasn't going to get it, but the only reason I got it is, my brothers have got it, and we've done a family pass, so we'll probably just bung a few more people on that and make it even cheaper.
Yeah.
It's pretty bare bones, isn't it? So far.
Yeah.
There's the Nintendo 64 offerings, all of which I've probably played, except, well, actually, nothing that I'm hugely looking forward to. Win Back was a bit of a left field option.
Something
I might enjoy that. Something I haven't played, I might enjoy it. Dr. Mario 64, I'm like, nah, can I be bothered? No. Yoshi's Story, I sort of wanted to play it, but I just loaded it up and it looks like hot garbage. But that's N64 2D, 3D character models for you.
Yeah, it probably would look better if it was.
Yeah.
You played it on the N64 on a CRT.
Mario Tennis is probably the best Mario Tennis they did, maybe. I don't know, the GameCube one. Sin and Punishment, is it? Is that the Japanese one? I mean, I played a bit of it yesterday, and it looked alright. It's sort of an on-rail shooter, is it? I wasn't really sure what was going on.
Yeah, it's an on-rail shooter.
But Ocarina of Time, Star Fox 64, Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, everybody's played them before. Will it be interesting to play Mario Kart 64 multiplayer again? Could always be fun. But I guess you've got to cope with, you've got to do it multiplayer, local, which I presume you can do, or play it online and cope with Nintendo's dodgy online system, always lagging and everything.
Yeah.
I'm willing to give it a go, but it doesn't particularly excite me. The Mega Drive games, I didn't have a Mega Drive when I was younger. I've played Sonic. I've given it a go. I never really got into Sonic. Golden Axe and that lot, I might give them a proper go, but I guess it's the Nintendo games I'm interested in. See what they add in future. It got teased that Banjo-Kazooie is coming, which therefore implies Rare games are coming.
Yeah.
Will it have games? I suppose Paper Mario, I'd be looking forward to. I've never got to play that. The original one.
The original one is really good.
Yeah. Potential future games. I don't know. If they put Banjo-Tooie, I'd love to play that. They've got that. I don't think they'll probably get that, given that they've just got Banjo. I doubt they'll put Conker's Bad Fur Day. Other N64 games.
I cannot see them doing Conker Bad Fur Day.
No, because that's kind of all. Well, I mean, Banjo-Kazooie is, but Conker's Bad Fur Day is also all rare characters. They may well do Donkey Kong because that's like Nintendo, isn't it? Anyway, and they've already released it on the Wii U. But yeah, we're getting these games for all this extra money. It's a bare bones effort. These games have been released before on the Wii and the Wii U, and they're only just now coming to the Switch, which is presumably heading towards its twilight years. How old's the Switch now? 4 years? 5?
Yeah.
And we're only now just getting N64 games, which we presumed it would launch with on the Switch. GameCube games will never be there. Where other such things. Anyway, perhaps we'll talk about that in a bit. I'll let other people
just to list the games that are on the N64 service: Super Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, Lylat Wars, Yoshi's Story, Sin and Punishment, Ocarina of Time, Dr. Mario 64, Mario Tennis, and Winback, which I never heard of until Operation Winback, until this service came about.
No, I had heard of it back in the day, and I think I'd quite like to get it, but back in the day when you're young, you don't have all the cash that you might have nowadays. I'm a bit disappointed it's Star Fox 64 and not Lylat Wars. Why have we got the US box out?
You can get the European versions. If you go down to settings, there's something where you can bring up the European ROMs for the N64.
Why would you want to bring up the European versions, though?
I just want the box out. Lylat Wars, yes.
I guess with nostalgia, but I've played N64 games and Mega Drive games and NES games and SNES games since I was a kid on various other consoles, and they've been in 60 hertz, so they've run better. And going back to 50 hertz now, for me personally, is not something I would want to do. Because it just doesn't feel right anymore. It feels like I'm playing a game, and the game is somehow running through treacle. If that makes sense.
It just can't cope with Pedz's hyper quick reactions.
Exactly. Let's see. Mega Drive. You got Golden Axe, Strider, Musha. I think that says Shining Force 4. Or Shining Force, anyway, I don't know exactly what one it is. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Dot Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Streets of Rage 2, Shinobi 3, Echo the Dolphin, Gunstar Heroes, Fantasy Star 4. Sorry, I was thinking of Fantasy Star 4, not Shining Force. Castlevania Bloodlines, Contra Hardcore, and Rise Star or Ristar. No, I've always called it Rise Star, but I've heard other people say it's actually pronounced Ristar. So who knows there. And also, if you've got it, you get Animal Crossing Happy Home Paradise for free. I don't know if that's a permanent thing or until if you cancel you get rid of it. Oh, for fuck's sake! Why
and who knows DLC? Even how long it is for, even if you keep paying. Who knows?
Nintendo, you do things arse backwards, man. Yeah, I just wanted to list the games for those who are unaware. I think I've played every single game in that list there, apart from Winback.
What, now or?
No. Ever, my experience with the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack is actually quite minimal. I've jumped on it and I played a little bit of Super Mario 64 and a little bit of Ocarina, where I just jumped on them to quickly have a look at them, and I was like, I just don't want to play them again right now. And then I went and played something else, something new that I hadn't played before. Rebellion in chat says Nintendo are struggling to adapt to the online space. I agree. Anyway, let's talk about the N64 emulation. Kerr, have you got anything to say about it? Or your thoughts anyway, in general, like about the service?
The thing is, I've brought the service, but I've only brought it because of the family pass. So I've got myself, my missus, my kid, some of her friends at uni that are tied up, and I'm paying the lot, but I feel justified in that, you know, it's giving people I love or that I like something to do for sort of free. If I was paying just for myself, then no, I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole. I downloaded it the very night and instantly downloaded the Mega Drive and the N64 pack. Went onto Mario Kart, and it seems kind of laggy. I've
was that single player or online?
Yeah.
Single player.
Ah, right. That sucks.
It only seems like a split second there, but it just didn't feel right.
Well, like input lag when you try and turn and stuff, like.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And then I went to Star Fox 64, and that's when I realised the awful fact that you can't remap the buttons, which is an incredibly basic thing. But when I was trying to do the barrel rolls, it was like the button to angle your wings and roll on the left side was the front Joy-Con button, and on the right side it was the back Joy-Con button.
Yep.
Which feels really awkward when you're trying. I mean, it goes against what your brain expects. And being able to remap controls would be the easiest thing they could do, but it's not there.
I didn't realise you couldn't map controls.
Absolutely, and they don't make sense. I mean, again, playing Lilac Wars, you know, I know the controls for the N64, you know, like the back of my hand, you know. Pull back, press left C, up and flip around, you know. But I couldn't work out what to do. It's not like it's just second nature. It's completely foreign. It's bizarre, and yeah, it's ridiculous that you can't set your own buttons. I mean,
because the thing is with the N64, the pad is a very Marmite sort of thing. Some people love it and won't hear a word wrong about it. Some people hate it. I'm not a fan of the N64 pad. I loved when N64 games came onto the Wii Virtual Console because I could plug that classic controller in, and my hands were much more comfortable playing like Paper Mario, things like that on that than they are on an actual N64 controller. So
this is heresy. I won't hear a word said against the N64 pad.
Yeah, I like the N64 controller. I still use it on my N64 now. Like I get that some people find it awkward, but I think some people like try. I don't know. They it's like where it's showing. It's got the three prongs, for want of a better word. I think some people can't wrap their head around that you don't use all three at once.
Never use the left one.
The left one.
No, you use the two that...
rare.
I just love the like trigger. Z button.
The trigger on the back, like
yeah.
Z trigger.
Yeah, even with the controls and its bizarre mapping, there's like no obvious option where you can actually see what the controls are.
You can't even look them up.
Well,
no.
I think you have to hold X, like in game or something, because it's not on the start thing. It's not on the suspend menu. It's somewhere. I think it mentioned it once, just like hovering up. When you first load up the N64 things, it has annoying things along the bottom. Which
right.
Like, here's how to do this, and then it's gone forever. Yeah, you have to suspend and then push X for the user guide, which is a not altogether clear picture of the Switch and then the N64, and sort of this is here, and that's there, and it's like, yeah, so A is A, B is B, on Light It Was, then Y is left C and X is down C. And
wow.
All that.
Actually, yeah, thinking about it, I think I saw an image of it on GRcade.co.uk. the forum itself. And you have to, or someone was saying about it, you have to like hold in a certain button to use the certain C buttons or something. And it just sounded really awkward. Like I thought, like when I played N64 games on other consoles, the C stick will be mapped to the right analog. So the right hand.
Yeah.
So basically, it's like this: the C buttons are the C stick from the GameCube controller. Basically, it's the same kind of thing. But for some reason, on this, it sounds like they've just gone, "Fuck it, chuck it on. However you just chuck it there. Who cares? Okay, just put it on there. No one will mind."
So
Wrong.
I've also played a bit of
minds.
Mario 64, and obviously the camera's on the C buttons there. And I think the C stick, the right stick does do the camera to some extent. I've walked off so many platforms because I'm not quite sure what the controls are. I should probably look them up, but it's just not intuitive.
Isn't the controls... Are the controls the same on Super Mario 64 3D All-Stars as Super Mario 64 NSO Plus expansion pack? Oh, it's just so fucking long. It's NSO Plus, I'll call it.
I don't know. I didn't buy Super Mario 3D All-Stars because it was another bodge job by Nintendo. Had they stuck Galaxy 2 on, I'd have probably got it. But yeah, I'm not paying full price. I'll pick it up when someone gets rid of it second hand, maybe.
Yeah. For $7,000. You know what people are like. Oh, this was rare. At least I think it was. I'll stick it on eBay for £200 and see who bites.
Not rare. Rare did Banjo-Kazooie, not Super Mario.
Damn it. Speaking of, Mario 64 is better than Banjo. Boom.
Get out.
Boom. Truth bombs left and right.
Have you played the games much then, Pedz? Or not?
What's that now? Generally, I've played Mario 64, the completion, and Banjo-Kazooie. I did a bit, and then I was like, I'm bored.
But you've not played the expansion pass?
I had a dabble in Ocarina and Mario 64, and that was it.
People say the emulation is like all wrong, and I think they've particularly highlighted Ocarina of Time, isn't it? Like, Fog's not there and everything. I mean, I only just turned on Ocarina of Time just before this, and having played like a bit of Super Mario and Lilac Wars, it's clear that it's very sharp, which to an extent I don't mind. I guess perhaps they should have options, you know, like original CRT filter, like they do for the mini consoles. CRT filter. You know, I think when it's sharp, it's kind of like what your imagination thinks it used to look like when you were a kid. You know, really clear images. Perhaps it did on a CRT TV. Yeah.
The thing is I watched a video recently about it, and they highlighted that Ocarina of Time in there, and they showed you on the N64, the GameCube, the Wii U, and now. But I think in the 4-image comparison, like it didn't show GameCube. I don't think. I think it was like N64, Wii U, Switch, and the best of them was the Wii version
on the special disc.
Yeah.
That was.
But
Was that the MVG?
Sorry, my internet's dropping a bit, so it's cutting out, I think. But it don't matter because I'm recording, so there you go. Anyway, the images, I think it was images, it might have been footage, but I think it was images. It basically showed that the best version was the Wii. The Wii version like ran better, but it also like looked nicer and stuff. Whereas like after that, it kind of like went wonky on the Wii U, and then on the Switch it's gone even worse. But the difference is it doesn't have the weird dark filter that it's got on Wii U.
It was something like each Wii Virtual Console game had its own like game-specific emulator or something built for it. Whereas this has like a standard emulator, and I think it said things because N64 emulation is difficult for reasons I don't understand. Something to do with the console architecture and, I guess, things on each individual cartridge. But yeah, I think I said the Switch Online is sort of has one generic emulator running them all, and things are patched on the fly as is. Which is why
same with the
smooth.
Wii. Same with the Wii U, I think they said.
It's there, yeah.
Something to do with a person who used to work there. I don't know his name.
Yeah.
Him and his team specifically did single emulator games, and then when he left on the Wii U, they just went, nah, fuck it, just chuck them all under one, and it never worked as good since.
There's sort of the question of, which should be better, in-house emulation or like community emulation? Because, obviously in-house emulation has all the technical know-how, the manuals, the architecture, the game design, everything to go back to. But they obviously have limited budget, well, perhaps not limited budget, but, deadlines and everything to fit in, people saying, why isn't this out? Get this out now. It might be fixed. It might be ready. Oh, just do whatever you can. We don't want to spend this much on it. We want to make profit out of it. Whereas, a community will go for realism and has no time limit.
Yeah.
Or, resource limit apart from, whoever decides to build it and contribute it however long they wish to spend on it.
It's amazing what resources companies like Nintendo should have but don't have. There was an interesting story about, I think it was the original NES Mario. When they wanted to drop that on Virtual Console, they didn't actually have a copy of that in-house anywhere across, Nintendo Japan, Nintendo America. So they went on a ROM site and stole it. Well, technically it's not stealing because it's theirs, but they went and took it off a ROM site, and there were people that were hacking the code, and it had still got stuff inside it saying what ROM site it came from.
Yeah, I remember that.
So they clearly don't keep what they should, if that makes sense.
No, well, yeah. I'm amazed at how little Nintendo make of their history, their back catalogue, their archives. As an archivist myself, and who once lived in Frankfurt, actually sort of wrote to Nintendo asking for a job as their archivist. They turned me down straight away. They're obviously not interested. Or perhaps they had one. But yeah, they've got a huge history, back catalogue, design art, various demos, various alphas, betas. They could do so much better and produce so much more if they cared, but it's almost like they don't. It seems like perhaps back in the day they cared a bit more. Gradually throughout the generations, each type of emulation released in their back catalogue has got worse and worse. You think of like Super Mario All-Stars was perhaps the first sort of package that they released, and then you think how the repackages of their Super Mario have got less and less each time throughout the years, and they're just half-assed. They used to like give away NES games and things within like the first Animal Crossing, weren't there? I believe.
Yeah, there was 30 NES games, I think.
Yeah, they used to stick them on cartridges. I mean, how many copies of Super Mario Brothers does everyone have? It used to come with each Super Mario Advance, unlockables in various other games. They must have released it like millions of times, and now on the NES they want money for it. On the Switch they want money for it. It's part of Switch Online.
I think the issue for me when it comes to the NES games and stuff is they should have stuck with the way it worked originally on the Wii, because there seemed to be a better way of doing it for NES, SNES, N64, all of it. Like maybe not so much NES and SNES. That's under one emulator seems to be fine. But I think the fact that I bought it on the Wii, then had to upgrade it with money on the Wii U to have it on the gamepad, I think it was. And then have to then lose out on those purchases. Not lose out on them. Well, unless I think you can't, if you haven't got them downloaded, you can't download them anymore, can you?
Quite possibly for the Wii. I'm not sure about the Wii U. I guess the Wii U eShop still works. It's the Wii shop doesn't work.
So, you know, you lose out in some ways. But in some aspects, like with the Wii then, it just seems like it's like, right, we've charged you for this, we've charged you a little bit more for this, and now we're charging you again for the same fucking games.
I mean, well, that's the two different approaches. You know, you could either buy the games or have them as part of Switch Online, you know, and Netflix for games, as they were saying. I mean, what would you prefer? Would you prefer to buy it? Because then you own it, and you don't have to pay, and it's obviously a lot cheaper, and you just buy the ones you want, and you don't get, oh, hey, we've released new games for the SNES. It's some random game you've never heard of, and it's probably utter trash. And then you just spend the money.
I don't mind either approach, but I wish that they'd stuck to one. Like, in a way, I wish they'd stuck to the buy it approach and carried my purchases from the Wii to Wii U to Switch, like kind of like what the Xbox is now doing with, like, you can download 360 games. You can, if you've got the original Xbox version of, say, Conker Live and Reloaded, and you've got an Xbox Series X, you can slip the disc in and it'll fucking work. You know?
Yeah, I
suppose
suppose
you can't do that with the Switch. I can't slam in a GameCube disc and play a fucking GameCube game, unfortunately.
Yeah, you know, that's because those consoles are all stuck with discs going through.
I know. Not a pint. It's not my pint.
But yeah, you know, but there is. That's the way things are, you know, throughout all different industries now. You know, you can still have all your vinyls and cassettes, and you own them, but you need to play them on the machine that you bought back then. You know, I know vinyl's coming back, but you try and buy a cassette player, you won't buy it. If you want that music, you have to buy it in a different format, or you can go the Spotify way and stream it, but you just never own it, but it's just always available on whatever device you might have and have in future. I'm not that opposed to the Switch Online sort of service if it was in any way, you know, a lot more substantial than it is.
Yeah, well, like I said, I've got Game Pass,
a significant amount of the back catalogue. But yeah.
Yeah, like I was saying, I've got Game Pass Ultimate, so I've got no issues at all with a sort of rental service. I used to also rent games from Love Film and the other Boomerang, but it just feels like, you know, some things you just, especially with downloads and online stuff. Like, if you buy stuff, you can lose it because you can't get access to them anymore.
Oh yeah, well that's why I prefer physical games.
Exactly, yeah. Unfortunately, physical games are just fucking keys nowadays. On live, mate. Well, I just wish Nintendo would put more into the service. You know, in the time that, you know, the Game Pass has been running, it's had a hell of a lot more games. Yes, they're not all new games, but then Nintendo Online has had like fucking Nintendo and Super Nintendo games, and there's about 50.
You know, they've had Super Nintendo since whenever the online launched, and you know, they still don't have like Earthbound. They still don't have Super Mario RPG. You know, these rare games that people might actually want to play. It's bizarre, you know. They released Star Fox 2 on it, which was a game that was never released, and obviously came with the SNES Mini, and that was like, oh wow, look, Nintendo, you've made an effort, you've done something slightly different. But you know, where are these SNES games that people actually want to play? Not, you know, the Ignition Factor or Jelly Boy. What the hell?
The
are
only
they?
good thing I'll say with the Mega Drive emulator is with that one, they have picked some games which are, if you were trying to collect serious money burners. I mean, Castlevania is an expensive game to get real. So's Contra Hard Corps. So's Gunstar Heroes. So's Musha. Your Phantasy Star and your Shining Force would be reasonably expensive. You know, it's. But then there's a game you can buy on the Switch, which is like the Mega Drive collection, which has 50 Mega Drive games on it. It goes on sale for about £20, which kind of defeats the purpose of having this online rental of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I view that's got quite bad input lag. I haven't played it. The Switch version of it is supposed to have quite bad input lag. I've not
Isn't the
played it, so I
emulator
can't
for the
compare.
Sega one's supposed to be quite good though? Well, or just not as bad as the
I think
N64
the
ones.
Switch Online stuff is meant to be alright. I think the actual Mega collection is meant to have input lag. But I like I said, having not played it, I can't
I've got
comment.
it.
I've just heard it. I've just heard it through the grapevine, as they say.
I mean, I've got it and I've completed a lot of the games on it, like the Sonics and Streets of Rages, so it's not bad enough that I've noticed and cared too much. Whereas I
No,
have
fair enough.
noticed the N64 stuff on there straight away. But the Mega Drive is an exceptionally easy console to emulate. I remember emulating it on a Pentium 190 MHz processor, and it was fine. It's quite easy. I mean, you needed a much better PC than that to get the SNES working perfect with all its games. But I do think with the N64, they picked the wrong console to emulate. They should have picked Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. They should have picked something that they could have knocked out of the park.
It's ridiculous that they haven't yet released Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. You know,
Apparently, there's something where somebody's data mined online, and each one of these virtual consoles, or whatever you want to call it, online catalogs, they're numbered.
well, there was rumours about Game Boy being. I
Yeah,
think when they announced the N64 ones.
they've got numbers, and we've got 1, 2, something like 3 and 5. So clearly there was one that was supposed to come that didn't. And people have said it's Game Boy.
Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance would make sense to go on the Switch because a lot of people consider the Switch a handheld console. I don't, because I don't. It's very, very, very rare that I take my Switch out of its dock. It's basically constantly plugged in. So, you know, they were suited to a small screen, so it'd be fine on a small screen again. And people like that sort of thing.
2D ages better in a way as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it was like just before releasing Metroid Dread. You know, why not have the previous 4 games available? Well, you've got 1 and 3 because they haven't yet released any sort of Game Boy or Game Boy Advance emulator. I mean, I think there was like an article, it might be Nintendo Life or IGL or something like that, where to play these previous games. It's like, okay, you can play the previous one, Metroid Fusion, either on the Game Boy Advance or on the Wii U. You know, that's it. Nowhere else you can get it. But like, well, nobody's got a Wii U. Very, you know, the Game Boy Advance version was released 20 years. Well, yeah, so do I. But, you know, not as many people as who have a Switch.
No.
And, you know, the Game Boy Advance was out 20 years ago. So, you know, there's actual adults.
You know, if they'd stuck up Fusion on the shop on the Switch as a game on its own, a standalone, maybe done something to entice people, lick a paint, a filter, I don't know. They could have charged £10 for it because Dread directly follows on from it. They could have released that first, asked for £10 and gone, to know what Dread's about, why not play this first? No.
Well, actually, there is another place you can get it as a 3DS ambassador. Hello. Yeah. Which was another bare bones release, but you sort of accepted that. They never converted them into proper Game Boy Advance games on the eShop like they did. And they said they didn't, and I appreciate that they didn't. Although I'd have probably paid a bit more just to have a proper version of it. Yeah, I noticed the Sega emulator, the Mega Drive emulator, has filters. It has got the 4:3 pixel per CRT filter that you get with the mini consoles.
Yeah,
but it's not an option on the N64 one. No.
That's got the filters, but it doesn't have the ability to play different regions.
No.
Which is a shame.
I was just looking for that.
Because the mini Mega Drive did have the ROMs on for like American, European, and Asian. And some of the games, when you changed, not only did the title screen change it, but there's mass differences in some of the games. Like I think it's Contra in Japan. They gave you lots more lives to make it easy. Yeah. Some have got blood or not, depending what the region is. So that it would have been interesting to have had that on the Mega Drive, where it isn't.
Yeah. And also in Europe, Contra was Probotector.
Yeah.
Well, at least the NES ones. I don't know about Hardcore.
I think Hardcore might have been as well. I know Contra 3 certainly was, because when I was growing up, I had the American Contra 3, and friends had Probotector, Alien War.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing with the mini consoles, isn't it? Sort of a better package altogether than these things. I've always said, why haven't they released an N64 emulator? I'd love an N64 emulator. Mini console. I'd love an N64 mini console.
I imagine
purely because I'd want to hack it and add the games, add all the games that I'd want to play, like the SNES one. But then I sort of think, that's still another thing you've got to plug into your TV, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
I imagine they've
having
not
everything
done
in one
it
place is good. But yeah.
because the chips inside the mini NES and inside the mini SNES are actually identical. You can hack the mini NES and make it play the SNES games. They're no different. Whereas I think for the N64, they'd have to get a slightly stronger processor. So there's more money involved in them because they've got to redevelop something.
And I was going to say, well, would they want to remake the N64 controller? But they've obviously just gone and done that anyway.
Yeah.
For this. I mean, I don't know what the stick's like. I don't know if they've improved the stick on the mechanism, because that was always the
stuck a fucking Switch fucking one on it from a Joy-Con and said, do that. You get drifted.
It's not got loose, it's got drift. Damn.
People retrofit GameCube sticks into N64 pads, though.
Yeah, I think it was like a whole Kickstarter or something about making a.
I got a retrobit controller. It's lovely. It's wireless, and it has two. It's basically got two 4 shoulder buttons, because obviously I've got the Z trigger at the back, and one of them acts as two of them act as the Z button. I don't know why I keep saying Z. It's habit, I guess, considering I say Z mostly. But with the Z trigger, I say Z trigger, and then it's just a really nice pad to hold.
I mean, I've got my actual N64 just in front of me here. And, I think the stick on that is still all right. It's a bit loose. It might.
Yeah, mine is as well. Mine's just behind me.
Encountered a couple of Mario Party sessions or something. Got your hand on
Mario Party.
Yeah.
No, using the palm of your hand.
Release another mini console, Nintendo. Either like a Game Boy or it's print money.
The biggest issue is honestly with the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack is from everything I've seen and read is the N64 emulation. It's like it's not great value for money because it isn't, unless they start adding some things people really want. Because emulation for N64 is difficult, and I think there are ways to emulate it and get better results, but you're probably going to spend more money than you would on the Nintendo Switch Online to get it running really fucking sexy. But I think it just performs badly, and they could add some really cool stuff on there, but who knows what they're going to add and how many games.
Well,
like, it feels like they've done
how long it's going to take. They're going to drip feed, so people they drip feed it, so people stay paying for it, even though you have to pay for a year anyway. And they're not going to release them all at once, so people will pay it, play it, and leave it. But then you might be waiting for a game, 3 years down the line, then suddenly they stop supporting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows what they release and when. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's like with Xbox Gold, you're going to get 2 games start of the month, 2 games end of the month, and you always, if Nintendo did something like that, just a promise of a rough timetable.
There's no consistent release, is there?
Yeah.
I think they were, when it first came out, they were doing it consistently, weren't they?
Possibly.
Beginning of the month or end of the month, you get whatever they've done, but now it's just whenever. And I think now, because when they changed it to whenever, it kind of became mega infrequent. It was like once every month or something, you'd get a couple of games, and then all of a sudden they went, right, we're changing our plan here to just release it whenever. I could be wrong and thinking of something else, but I thought that's how it went.
A tweet from Nintendo. 3 new games on the Switch Online service for SNES. And what is it? Literally nothing. Games you've never heard of before. Like, oh, great. It wasn't even worth an announcement. Yeah, I mean, the sort of half-assed effort makes me think, I should get even like a decent PC or, something like the Steam Deck. Something that does emulation really good, and I can stick all my games on it. All the games I want to play, all the games.
Well, I saw a video about I don't know, like, I'm not saying to do this, but like there was a video I saw that you could emulate.
Backup only copies of games you already own, kids.
Yeah, but you could emulate games through the browser on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Series X. I haven't done it, but you can do that, and it's like, really?
Yeah, it's you have to find websites. Well. Yeah, you have to find websites that have got them listed for, I think it's Java Play, and you literally just play them straight off the website. I did have a mess around playing a few SNES games and stuff, and nothing seemed wrong. It seemed fine.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I nearly thought about getting a Series S because apparently that's good for emulation. But I want something easy. I hacked my Wii U, but that's a flipping hassle.
Yeah.
Quite an effort trying to inject ROMs or whatever it is so it comes up on the it's got GameCube injection stuff.
Get it plugged back in and get an EverDrive.
Get an EverDrive, yeah. I might. It's just quite expensive, isn't it?
It is, yeah, but it's worth it. It's worth it. I know because I've got one.
Oh, yeah. So I could just well do that. But again, then that's...
I've got 90 of them.
If I had a mansion and I had 10 TVs, 10 CRTs plugged up...
Like my N64 and all that's connected up to my HD TV now. I did have a CRT for a while, but I ended up getting rid of it because someone needed a TV. They didn't have a single TV at all, so I just give them that. Unfortunately, now I have no CRT. I would love one though, but I've got nowhere to keep it. Well,
I've got one back at my parents'. When I have space, I'll go get it. But yeah, it'd be good to have it. Have a massive game stream like cheeky. But
Isn't it?
I gotta live that. Yeah. But yeah,
in his
but then again,
game room.
Original hardware is the best way to play. It is the original way to play, the way it was intended, with the correct controller, with direct input and everything. It's how it was envisioned. But it's another device you got to plug in, and
exactly.
It won't be possible forever. The hardware will fail and die. So emulation has to happen.
Yeah, of course. I can understand, from a preservation aspect, that everything should be made into ROMs or something. If you know what I mean, everything should be backed up. Because a lot of companies, don't bother, and they like lose the source code, they lose the games. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it happens a lot. It happened to TV now. Look at Doctor Who. I thought I'd mention Doctor Who because Matt's in the stream.
Oh, yeah.
Probably got a boner now.
Well, it happens with everything. It's an information technology way of working. Move on to the next thing, keep on going, forget about the past.
Yeah.
It's not used. It's been done. We can improve. Yeah.
Yeah, but gaming seems to be massive. Like, I'm not saying other formats now, but gamers seem to really dig nostalgia more than like TV people, I find, or films. Like, I don't
know. Have you met the British public? I mean, fucking Dad's Army. Holy Fools and Horses. We love nostalgia. It's just the problem with gaming is it's an inherently different media that requires input and specific hardware. People love Gone with the Wind, but they're not watching it on 35mm film. They're not watching it on VHS. They're not watching it on DVD. It gets transported to the new media, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
And the experience is essentially the same, except it looks a bit nicer.
Whereas
each time it comes along,
games tend to look a little bit worse when they port
it on. It's like it's not on the CRT TV. Yeah,
it's not on the CRT. It's even like,
and the button mapping is terrible.
Yes, and it got input lag, and it doesn't look as nice as previous iterations of the same game.
Yeah, or it looks terrible because that was the power that the consoles had.
Yeah,
it looks like an N64 game because it is.
Exactly. Any more to say yourself, Kerr?
No, not really. I just think with the whole online pass expansion, it is only really worth it if you get a family pass and you have got, at least a couple of people who are either going to play the emulators or are into Animal Crossing. I mean, I do think it especially helps if there's 4 or 5 of you on a family pass who want to play this Animal Crossing DLC.
Yeah.
That's where the value is. If you all hate Animal Crossing and half of you are never going to play anything and the other half are just going to play Mario Kart 64 now and again, it ain't worth the money. That's where it stands, in it.
Yeah. I can get behind that sentiment. I've got a family pass. I'm paying for it all myself because it's for my kids and myself and the missus. But the 6 Animal Crossing DLCs, I do need to try out the Nintendo Online, like Mario Kart 64. That's
I was going to say, let's play it now.
Online. we could play it now.
Go on. We can do a live test.
A live test?
Yeah.
Oof.
See how good it is.
I'd have to
I've got it up ready.
You've got it up, eh?
Yeah.
All right. That didn't take you long.
Well, hey, that's what she said. Yeah. But, will they release Game Boy games and GameCube games, and then will it be a further expansion upon the expansion?
Yeah,
or will it be incorporated, or will it eventually just be
worry,
one
isn't
price included and everything? Yeah. Have they released GameCube games at all on like a virtual console?
No. The only
Which
way
is bizarre.
to play GameCube games on a GameCube or Wii officially, like.
Yeah, I mean, and GameCube was one of the poorest selling ones as well, so hardly anyone's played them. I know hardly anyone. Well, the Wii U was poor selling, but all the games are on Switch now, so people have had the opportunity to play them. But yeah, still GameCube games.
Almost all.
Oh yes, almost all. Don't have reports.
Don't
have report our beloved Star Fox
Devil's
Zero.
Third. That's not out yet, isn't? Yeah, Star Fox Devil's Third.
Not many. Nintendo Land. Yeah. But, Who knows?
Corny crops. All right.
Who
then
knows?
what we
Who knows
talking-
what they have planned for the future? They just don't tell you. I mean, they announced this Switch Online and then didn't announce the pricing for 3 months or whatever. Like, just let and no ideas what's coming beyond the first. Well, whether all those games that they also showed, Banjo-Kazooie, Paper Mario, will come as one lump, or they'll drip feed them over a year. Probably knowing Nintendo. But yeah, it's bizarre. This playing online says how to use voice chat.
Through your phone, isn't it?
Oh god, is this still the Nintendo Switch Online? God, Nintendo is so bad at just doing it online.
Yeah, Nintendo are bad. Naughty fucking Nintendo. That's all I can say. How do you do the online then?
So you have to go over to the left, and you've got one player play with everyone and play online.
Play online, right? Okay, playing online. One play online. I can't show the game on stream though unless I quickly.
No. I presume. I don't know. I mean, it's not obvious, is it? Or do I have to play Mario Kart first, and then you have to search for it? Because I'm not selecting the game here, am I? Play while you wait. Send a passcode. No passcode. Alright, I'm creating an online session.
Right, create an online session and invite us in, and let's see how it goes then.
Invite a friend
We're
right
not
now.
going to be much longer now, Matt. We're going to be done soon. Because this is a mini episode. If it was a full episode, we'd be talking for another couple of hours. Literally.
It's not very user friendly, is it? Trying to play online. I didn't realise you had to get inside and stuff. And...
Right, so I've sent you an invitation.
Right,
yeah,
I'm restarting the software. It's telling me I have to restart to join.
I mean, but I've not got Mario Kart 64 open. Do I need to open it? Who knows? We'll find out. Will it automatically start? I'm in an online session. Pedz is joining.
Yep, there's no sound though, but I've got video footage.
Pedz has come to play. I will control the menu. Connection strength may vary depending on the signal quality. Right, okay, I'm selecting Mario Kart 64. Here we go. I mean, that annoying banner sits there for ages. I might get rid of it. Right, Mario Kart GP, Pedz. 150cc. What one are we doing?
Whatever. Just do one race to see how it is.
One race. Have you selected your player? No. Go to Yoshi. Go on then.
Go Hypes. Screw you, man.
Bog standard Luigi Raceway. Ah,
So far the sound is fine.
swap you, man. Oh, crap. Oh. This makes really good radio.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, I think I saw people saying, why is it still split screen and everything? I want to play 4-player multiplayer Mario Kart, but have the whole screen as me. I mean, that would require a lot more effort. It's properly emulating like it was back in the day. Everyone sitting in front of your TV. But
wow,
yeah.
I'm not used to the controls on this. I'm fucking awful at it.
I feel like they should be on stream.
It is on stream.
Oh, is it? Excellent.
There's no sound, but it is picture.
Hooray! In fact, on this emulation, one thing on Mario Kart emulation, Mario Kart 64, is the big screen on Luigi's Raceway. I don't know what it was, whether it was the Wii or N64. They didn't get that right, and so it was just off or a fuzz because it's also emulating within the game.
I'll let
showing-
Wario win.
Yeah,
Matt will be fucking, well, I don't know, too happy.
Pedz is beating me. It's outrageous. It's difficult to talk and work. But yeah, this big Titantron just before the tunnel is actually working, I think. It's showing what's happening, or is it not? I mean, don't think I've had any lag. I've just been terrible.
Yeah,
Okay.
looks like a Nintendo 64. To be honest with you, playing Mario Kart, it seems okay. I haven't really noticed much lag in the controls. The online, when I saw footage of it, it was like, it's not like that at all. It seems okay.
Based on people's connections. And I'll tell you now, my connection is pretty bad.
The issue is there's 2 of us. Maybe we need 4.
Maybe 4, yeah.
How do we invite Kerr? Have we got Kerr added on Switch?
Mine's not connecting for some reason to the online, the Switch. It might be the room I'm in.
The turn
Maybe
is
they've even
weird
done a
as
bit
hell,
of
man.
Well, I think that's still N64. That's how the game was.
Yeah, but I was used to it back then.
Well, yeah. I can still do all the puffs of smoke, but I'm not really sure what I should do with them. I'll tell you what, though.
Jawa, you can't.
Jawa lightning.
I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. It's got the whistle when you hit a banana. I wish they brought that back.
Suck a peach. Jawa lightning. I used the lightning as well. It was great. Oh, you should have seen the smile on Jawa's
I'm not really
face.
sure of the difference between characters in this. I mean, I know different characters became,
less
had their
of
own
a thing. I think lighter characters have better acceleration and heavier characters have higher speed.
There might be light, medium, and heavy in this. Donkey Kong, Wario and Bowser, Toad, Yoshi.
Oh, I'm in first.
Oh, I'm getting my ass whipped. This wouldn't have happened back in the day.
No, the Monty Mole.
Yes.
No, I need another one. He took over me with his dirty cheating star.
Oh, boop, boop, boop. Whop. Oh, it's still just as fun.
It is.
So actually, they have at least stuck online onto it. They could have just used it.
Yeah. I can't believe it. GG Hypes. Screw you, Matt, you bitch.
Yeah, Matt. Oh.
See, even Hype says screw you. Nasty Matt Hypes.
No, I know I didn't. I said yeah, Matt. Oh, look, we need to bring back Mario Kart Mondays, but only for 4 people at a time.
Yeah. Matt, you getting Nintendo Switch Online?
Well, that's one thing I was wondering. F-Zero, I presume they'll release that at some point and have like a multiplayer death race or something. But I don't think that was ever. Oh, it failed. Hands up if you made the jump on the beach. Not me. But yeah, I mean, it's certainly... I'd have to load up the N64 to compare it side by side. But it looks clean and crisp enough.
Yeah, and it's playing alright. It's not...
Yeah.
Like, it's not too much of an issue for me personally with the input lag and stuff. You can see it's there. You can feel it, like...
Have battle mode.
Yeah, it's got battle mode.
Like that. When it was last good. Remember when people played battle mode? Block fort. Final lap. can you see further in the distance? I don't think fog was ever really an issue on Mario Kart 64, except perhaps
not on this game.
Choco Mountain, but perhaps that was just built in. That was the style of Choco Mountain.
Bellion said he's thinking of just paying for the Happy Home Paradise expansion. If it's you on your own, that's probably not a bad idea, especially if you're not into the old games.
Honestly, if you want to get the expansion, if you go on my Discord, there's a link to get it for £16. The Animal Crossing expansion. I done shit in this, so I kept crashing.
What is on this expansion? I don't know if I can be bothered to go back to Animal Crossing. I haven't with all the extra bits they've
It's a Happy Home Designer, isn't it? Of CD keys, yeah. CD keys is legit.
Oh, the Java expansion.
You get it for $16.29 at 25.
What is Happy
unless,
Home
of course,
Designer?
It's gone dodgy.
You know,
you can design your home
3DS,
already.
How you had Happy Home Designer
I'm
as a separate game.
It existing.
This is effectively that separate game put into Animal Crossing, but instead of designing the homes, you design these holiday home getaways for characters. So it's almost an entirely different game.
Right.
But then things that you unlock through that, various cupboards and other stuff.
I thought that said shat then, but I think it says shot.
You can take back and use in your actual house. It's interesting to note that not only is there the Happy Homes Paradise expansion, there's a 2.0
almost
DLC,
fucker,
which is free.
Yeah.
And that should have dropped tonight, and it actually dropped yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So the free expansion stuff, which there's absolutely loads of anyway. There's loads of items. There's shops you can unlock on Hard Island. Captain's come back to take you on tours. Brewster's come back for the museum.
Yeah.
And that's all.
And he
free.
sings songs too as well.
I loved his song on the GameCube. Boop, 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 boop.
Suck a peach.
This seems faster. Kalahari Desert seems really fast.
Did you used to play the PAL version, maybe?
Oh, well, yes.
That might be it, because I mean, it's something like 12% faster, isn't it? NST to PAL.
Although the train has no carriages, so perhaps that's a multiplayer thing, is it? I'm sure the train had carriages in multiplayer. Oh, I hate it when the shell just goes off. That should be going right up Pedz' arse.
We were downloading.
I was too busy looking at your screen.
Oh yeah, I forgot you can see me, of course.
We were downloading the Animal Crossing 2.0 update last night. We just randomly saw that it was available.
So are they going to release other DLCs as part of this?
No, well, not Animal Crossing.
No, right.
They said originally.
In second.
I know, right?
Originally, they said that 2.0 would be the last free major update. There might be like little bits like Christmas things or tiny, but it would be the last major free update. Which I thought meant there'd be a load more paid updates, but apparently it sounds like the Happy Home is the only paid update.
Do you think that they'll release DLC for other games on the expansion pass?
I think it's certainly a possibility. Because, offering up the Animal Crossing stuff, yeah, it's a deal now, it's something that'll attract people, but next year people aren't going to care. Because a lot of people will have played it as much as they want. If people were that into it, they'll buy it in case it comes off. So they've got to offer something else.
Yeah.
At some point. I mean, apparently Smash has had the last DLC for it, hasn't it?
Possibly, yeah. Oh, hey guys, I don't know if you noticed, but here's the award ceremony. There's good old Peachy. I mean, this was bizarre. A massive fish.
Yeah.
I always quite liked it if you did rubbish and you were sat on the outside, like watching it. There they are. Watching the awards ceremony.
Right. I'm going to think that's going to be the end
Where's
of
my
us
big
now,
fish?
guys. We're going to end the podcast here. It was a very different one. We talked about the Nintendo Switch Online and our grievances. To be honest, playing it now, we played it live here whilst doing a stream.
A real test. It
So
seemed
you know,
good.
it was a tidy test, and it worked okay. It's not as bad as the videos I've seen, where it's all like.
People have made it out to be. But then perhaps that's 4-player.
Maybe
Yeah,
they've done
that's
some
it.
tinkering we don't know about as
Maybe.
well.
So there you go. All good. But we are going to end here. You wonderful listeners, you. I punched my table and broke my finger. I
Why?
didn't break my finger, but fuck that hurt. So that's going to be the end of us, as I said about 5 times now. We're not actually finished. So I would like to thank Hypes and Kerr for taking part. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
No problem. It's been a good one. Everyone take care of yourselves. Please, if you're new here or you regularly watch the streams, don't forget to check out GRcade.co.uk, GRcade video on YouTube, at GRcade on Twitter, and GRcade on Facebook. And with that, goodbye.